Day to all the youth out there worldwide. We are celebrating our day, and of course this is commemorated every 12th of August and every year. Welcome to Westnile TV, dear viewer. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Ayot, Lillian, and this is the Real Talk every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. We are here on your screen doing the discussion together with you. Do not forget that you can be a part of this discussion by going on our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Of course, every comment that you put out there contributes to this discussion. We are also live on our Facebook page, that is on the page of Westnile TV. Find the page, like, and leave a comment right there. We'll read your comments here by the end of this discussion, and I hope you're having a wonderful weekend as you catch this discussion. So this is about us, the youth, today, and that in line with that, we are discussing the significance of the Youth Day, the International Youth Day. To all the youth out there, you know this day actually exists, but not so many youth are aware about it. So it's a day that is designated to celebrate celebrate the achievements of the youth, and also, but most importantly, to identify the challenges that the youth face out there and come up with ways on how to address them. So this is celebrated worldwide, and I believe many districts in Uganda have celebrated this, including Arua City, and our youth leaders were out there representing the youth, and also the youth were also in the celebration. So today in the studio we have a youth leader of Arua City, that is the Deputy Speaker, who is joining us on this discussion so that together we can look at the significance of Youth Day and what it means to the youth and how best we could utilize this day. And before we go any further, let's have him introduce himself to you, our viewers. You're most welcome to the studio of Westnile TV, and thank you for honoring our invitation here on the Real Talk. Please say hi to our viewer.
Yes, thank you very much, viewers. I am happy to be here at Westnile TV, and I'm happy to have this discussion about the International Youth Day, issues that concern the young people, and I am one of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming through. Do not forget, we are discussing the significance of International Youth Day. This is actually a day that is designated to, like I said, find those challenges that are affecting the young people out there. So you can put out some of the challenges that the young people are facing, and when the time comes, we'll engage you in the discussion. So we'll start with the first things first. What is the significance of International Youth Day to the youth out there? Let's bring it down to the youth here in Westnile.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, it is very important for us to understand why the Youth Day came in force. Because first of all, this was something that was, the discussion started in 1965 at the UN General Assembly. That's now when leaders started thinking and discussing about issues that affect young people. Then in 1999, that's when this day was designated, which we're celebrating today. And this day was designed specifically to look at the issues that affect young people globally. And the global issues that affect young people are issues that also affect us as young people at national level and at local level. Okay. So when you look at the significance of the International Youth Day, it is simple. Why is it important? One, for us to identify the challenges that affect young people. Okay. Two, for young people to be celebrated. Yes, we may have issues, we may have challenges that affect young people, but there are positivities out there that young people have. So this day is basically to celebrate the challenges, to appreciate the challenges that young people go through, and also to celebrate the achievements, the good things that young people have done. Okay. So that collectively we can address the issues that affect young people globally, but narrow it locally. Okay. So it's a very important day for young people, that this is the day you have a personal reflection of the things that you have done, of the challenges that you go through, and how best society can come together. When I say society, I mean all stakeholders. Local governments, opinion leaders, development partners, mention it. How can we come together and address the issues that affect young people and how best they can be supported in the positivities that they have.
Okay, that's a very beautiful background that you've given out there, and I believe our viewer out there has understood what this day is all about. So every year there is a theme for this celebration of International Youth Day, and this year the theme is Green Skills for Youth for a sustainable world. So what is the significance of this year's theme to the young people?
Well, one, you see, it is important that as young people we are part of the discussion. Okay? Why? Because as young people we are the majority. Okay? Now, this year's, you see, when you look at sustainability, you must be in a position to look at issues that can be sustained in the long run. Mechanisms that you can put in place to ensure that young people, when left alone, they can push the agenda of the young people to move forward. So the theme today is to encourage young people, is to encourage leaders, is to encourage policymakers, is to encourage everybody that how best can we ensure that young people can sustain the achievements that they are into. Because as I talk right now, we have young people in different sectors.
Okay.
There are those who are in innovative ventures. There are those that are in business. There are those who are in leadership, like me. Okay. There are young people who are out there. They are trying hard to ensure that they make ends meet. Now, the significance of today's theme is very simple. It is to awaken all stakeholders. Because at the end of the day, when you don't have stakeholders on board, when you leave it alone to the young people, sustainability of this year's theme may not be possible. Okay. So when you bring everybody on board to support the young people, because at the end of the day, let's not forget, these are the future leaders, the future lawyers, doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs, mention it. So they need to be supported, they needed to be guided, they needed to be mentored, so that at the end of the day, whatever initiatives that they are involved in, whatever programs that they are involved in, whatever things that they try to do, being it in agriculture, being it in environment, whatever it is, that it is sustainable. Because once that is not there, I will share an example with you. You train young people, a group of young people, train them, give them skills, and don't give them startup kits. You're wasting your time. You're getting it? Because yes, they will graduate, they'll have the skills, but what next? So to ensure that there's sustainability, train this young person in tailoring, metal fabrication, bakery and confectionery, mention it. Then when they finish, give them startup kits. Then they pick from there, because yes, you may give a young person a skill, they will go and sit home after graduating. Yes, somebody knows how to work on a tailoring machine, but they don't own one. So to sustain it simply means train this person, support this person, and make sure there is where they can pick from and move forward. So that is very, very important. That's why any engagement that involves young people, issue number one, how do you sustain that? If it's a government program, now we're talking about PDM. Okay? How can young people sustain these programs? Is it just a cash handout? What is beyond PDM? That if tomorrow PDM is not there, the young people who have benefited can actually progress steadily.
Okay.
So these are discussions that involves everybody. And to me, as a local leader, my point is simple. That for young people to be productive in any venture, any program, any initiative, the discussion should always be at this. How are we best going to sustain these programs or any activities that that young people are involved in? Any sort of discussion without that, believe me, you will engage them today, support them today, the next following day, you will go and find there's nothing. That's why all government programs, NUSAF, Bonawagagale, mention it. They have failed because there is no sustainability strategy at the end of the day.
Okay.
They even get these programs, eat the monies, and they can say this is a government program, not knowing that it is actually their program. So if they can own such programs, initiatives, and strategies of sustainability are put in place, believe me, this country, this region as West Nile, we have the capacity and potential and creativity to move the economy of this country and this region forward.
Okay. That is a very interesting and a very elaborate input coming in from you right there. So the viewer out there, we also want to know what your view is in regard to, you know, this year's significance to the youth of today. So moving forward, we want to look at the Sustainable Development Goals. You know, these are a global call to people out there all over the world to end poverty, equality, and build environmentally, you know, friendly planet for all of us. So the youth have been very, very, you know, important in achieving these sustainable development goals. In line with this year's theme, Green Skills for Youth, we want to look at, the world is embarking on, you know, developing a friendly environment for everyone. You know, we want to look at the earth, land, water, and all that. So, and also sustaining the green in the environment. What role have the youth played in implementing some of these SDGs?
Well, one, young people, the involvement, when you're talking about the sustainable development goals, one, young people have been empowered with information and knowledge to ensure that, one, they have a responsibility to take care of the environment, be it land, water, anything that is involved. Because the people who abuse this, majority are actually young people.
Okay.
If you move on the streets of Arua and you see the number of young people throwing garbage, polythene bags anyhow, it's alarming. Okay? And don't forget, because the majority of the people in this country, even West Nile, still they constitute the majority. So young people, what they have done as young leaders, one, engaging young people to ensure that we have a responsibility to, first of all, protect our climate. We have a responsibility to ensure that our environment, our water sources are protected. And that can only happen when they have information, knowledge. Because once there is a knowledge gap, believe me, nothing will happen. So the young people have moved out, they've engaged fellow young people to engage them and tell them, look, we have a responsibility to ensure that we play our roles as young leaders and as young people, or even youth, to ensure that we must protect our people, we must protect our environment, we must, and also engaging in green businesses. I can tell you, I know of young people who have turned garbage into pavers.
Okay.
Okay, I can tell you, I know of young people who have turned garbage also into fertilizers. Now these are green tech innovative ideas that young people are taking up, which to me is a plus.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be looking at garbage or any other thing as a waste. Everything is useful. It depends on how best we can utilize them for our own good. So, to me, I want to give a plus to young people. One, for their level of engagement. Two, the capacity building or trainings in terms of knowledge that they've gotten from development partners, local leaders, and other stakeholders, to ensure that they are actively involved in the sustainable development goals. Because at the end of the day, one thing I want to make it very clear, that when young people are not involved in anything, you will not perform any miracle to make them understand it. So engagement and participation and knowledge based, it's very important, because you cannot talk about anything when you don't involve them. Okay, let's talk about young people who are in leadership. Okay, the only way you will tell young people to change decisions or changes about them is by involving them. That's why some of us got involved and now we are leaders. It's because we knew that anything for us without us is not for us. So we had to make sure that we are part of the decision-making process. And who are these people who decide for us? People in in the parliament, people in councils. So that is where decision-making processes take place. Okay? That's where resource allocation takes place. That's where your voices can be heard. Okay? So I said, we as young people, we had to put our act together and say, look here, let's organize ourselves. Let's be there. And by so doing, we have made positive strides and achievements. One, when we went to council, we made it a priority that the youth budget should increase. We entered council and found that youth budget was at 2 million. 2 million for the whole financial year.
Okay.
But as I talk right now, it's at 28 million. And this is our second year in office. Why? Because the majority of the honorable councillors in council are young people, fortunately. So we speak the same language. We understand our issues that affect us. And we're in a position to say, look, let's improve this budget. Let's improve the budget of the women. Let's improve the budget of special interest, the PWDs and elders.
Okay.
But that only happened because we are in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. Okay.
That's where food is cooked. But when you're not there, you'll be smelling the sweet aroma from outside. So be inside and you determine the outcome of events.
Okay, that is very nice. So he advocates for engagement of the youth and also their participation in all this. And that is why I believe we have the International Youth Day to get the youth involved in these activities. And this year there's a special call to the youth to get involved in transiting towards a greener world, and that is through the green skills. So I would like to throw a question to the youth, especially of Westnile. You know, Westnile is known as one of the region that exports charcoal to other regions. Now that it has been banned in this region, what are the young people doing to see that we move towards a smarter energy source? So that's a question that we all have to contemplate on. For now, we are going for a short break, but you can still leave your comment on our YouTube channel and also our Facebook page. We'll have them here and we'll read them after the break. Don't go away. This is The Real Talk.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Star TV with StarTimes Inside Technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. With StarTimes Inside Global Star TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update, more benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Inside Global Star TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that break. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian, and thank you for watching Westnile TV. And now today, if you have just joined our discussion, we are discussing the significance of International Youth Day. And remember, we do this every Saturdays. We do Real Talks every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. here on Westnile TV. You can catch us on Zuku and Star Times, and you can also get engaged in these discussions by following us on our YouTube channel, leaving a comment, and also our Facebook, because we also do live on Facebook. Now, we've discussed some of the significance of this International Youth Day, and we looked at the SDG. We exhausted the theme for this year, but we still are in line with the theme of this year, that is green skill for youth, a sustainable world. So how are you getting involved as a youth, your contribution towards a greener world, as it is a call for all youth this year. And briefly, we have our guest for today is the Deputy Speaker for Arua Central Division. He is Honorable Vidal Victor. He'll introduce himself again for those, so that those who have just joined us will get to know him in person. Please kindly do a brief introduction, then we proceed.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Ramori Victor Vidal, Councillor Representative of Pangisa Upper to Central Division Arua City, and then at the same time the Deputy Speaker.
Okay, so we missed that bit in the first introduction, but thank you so much for joining us in today's studio. It means a lot because he is a youth leader, and that means he is a voice of so many youth out there, and we are having a fruitful discussion for sure that we cannot deny. So we would like to go into, we know we have this day that is celebrated every 12th of August every year, and looking at the significance. But before we go into the significance, what are some of the activities that happen on this day, and how involved are the youth in these activities?
Well, one, the activities are many on this day. One, there is a celebration that young people and different stakeholders come together, sit and commemorate and celebrate the day. For the case of Arua City, it was opposite total, and a good number of young people turned up, youth leaders and other stakeholders turned up to attend the event. That is one. Then the activities that are involved on this day includes advocacy. Okay, young people voice their concerns. They go out, advocate on issues that affect them. Two, young people are involved in cleaning, that they have a responsibility on such a day to move out and sweep the streets of Arua City, move around, talk to fellow young people, and explain to them why this day is very important. That is why today, when you moved around town, you would see that a group of young people were moving around with flyers, talking to young people, talking to other different stakeholders, cleaning the streets around, moving around, basically creating an awareness that this is our day, we must be part of it. Other stakeholders should also be part of it. So there's cleaning, there's the celebration itself, but most importantly, on such a day, advocacy is an activity of its own. Lobbying and advocacy, because when you don't advocate and you don't lobby, you don't get anything. Because you will celebrate, so what? It will be like any normal day. It's just like Eid or Christmas. You will know, oh, today is Eid, today is Christmas, is done. So what next? But today, lobbying and advocacy is a key item to ensure that everybody gets to know, what do young people want? The question should be, what do young people want? And not, what can we do for them? That is the challenge. Never think for the young people. Never plan for them. Allow them think for themselves. Allow them raise issues about themselves. Allow them plan for themselves. Anything to do with young people, allow them participate. If you don't do that, whatever you are doing will not succeed. That is why we tell young people, what do you want? Then they'll tell you, oh, this is what we want to do. Let it come from them, from their hearts. You don't impose ideas on them. Allow them come up with their own ideas. Allow them express themselves so that at the end of the day, they own it. If you ask me, Victor, what do you want? I'll tell you what I want. But don't come and tell me, I want this for you. Apana, no. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, the activities are many. I have just put out a few. Cleaning around, lobbying and advocacy, then celebrating. By the way, it's what? Celebrating. Because day in, day out, we don't grow younger, we grow old. So when you're still within the youth bracket below 30, you must be in position to say, yeah, I am celebrating me as being a young person. It's very important. Unfortunately, we don't have that culture of celebrating. Even your own birthdays, sometimes people don't celebrate. But it's important that such days we celebrate them.
Okay, that is very interesting, coming in from Honorable Mori Victor Vidal right there, the Deputy Speaker for Arua Central Division. Thank you so much for putting in that. I love how you talked about, how you mentioned how the young people should, spell out what they want, not someone thinking for them. I believe for example, the president cannot reach all the young people down here. So that is why we have the youth leaders right from the sub-county to district. It starts from the parish level, yes? Sub-county, district, national and international level. So we have this structure in place to make sure the voice of the young people, their needs are met, their voices are heard. So how effectively has this structure, the youth leaders voiced out the concerns of the young people?
First of all, the structures within the youth council, because the youth council is the youth body, how it has managed to raise issues that affect young people is because they are structures from the cell level or village level. Then it comes to the parish level, which is ward level. Then it comes to sub-county. In our setup, it comes to the division. Then the division, it goes to the city. City is an equivalent of a district in the Local Government Act. So from the city, it goes to the national level. So the structures have been in position to get critical issues, peculiar issues that affect young people from the village level or cell level. It comes to the ward level, which is the parish. Then it comes to division level or sub-county. It comes to the district or city level. Then gradually they go to the national level, which now the different stakeholders involved at policy making level can be in position to analyze the issues and come up with appropriate measures or policies or even laws that can enable young people flourish. So one, young people have been in position to use these platforms, these structures, to raise issues that affect them. Two, they've been in position to use these structures to mobilize young people. It is through these structures that mobilization becomes easy. Because, believe me, you go outside there, young people all over. But getting them is a hassle. So getting them is much more easier. You use the existing structures. Because there are 9 at village or cell level, 9. Parish or what, 9. Sub-county or division level, 9. District, city, 9, like that, up to the national level. So the structures, the young people have managed to use it to mobilize young people to get information, to mobilize young people for government programs, to mobilize young people to understand government policies and how local governments work. That is why it was easy for some of us to understand critical issues that affect young people and to equally have our own say. That, okay, fine, if I'm talking about drug abuse, how best can we handle it? How best can we address it? So young people have managed to use these structures, existing structures, much as it has its own challenges, but to a big extent, it has managed to help young people voice their concerns, mobilize themselves, for government programs, or even any other program that is from either a development partner or any other stakeholder. So this is how young people have been in position to utilize these spaces and structures in place.
Oh, that is very interesting. Kudos to our youth leaders who are out there busy advancing, you know, the concerns of the young people to the responsible authorities. And thanks to them, this day actually exists because they recommended this day. You know, they had a conference that later the UN endorsed in 1999. So we say thank you so much. And they still continue to voice out the concern of the young people each and every year, you know, every time. So speaking about this day being celebrated every year, we want to see whether this day has left an impact or created an impact in the lives of these young people. Has there been any change, significance, change that you see? General, let's look at the impact of this day. Since it's an annual activity, I'm drawing back to the significance of the International Youth Day.
Well, according to my own analysis, the International Youth Day impact is not so immense. It's not that big as it is being portrayed. And it is because it's once. You're getting it? It's once. And not so many young people know about this day.
Exactly.
I come from Pangisa Ward, but there are young people who did not even know that today is an International Youth Day.
What effort have you made to make them know that such a day exists?
Engagement. I talk to them. I engage them, I talk to them. So the impact can be visibly seen with young people who are educated. Young people who are on social media. But young people who are not on social media and those ones who have never had an opportunity to go to school or even attain a basic level, they don't even understand it. They don't understand it. So, to me, I will say there must be a mechanism put in place to ensure that the majority of the young people who are not on social media, who have never had an opportunity to go to school, even attain a basic structure, there must be a mechanism that they can be reached and they understand this day fully. That is the challenge. But the impact is mainly on the youth who are who have had an opportunity, those who have an opportunity to go to school, those who are on social media. Okay? They're either on Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp. Mention it. First time, those ones know, and they're in position to, even those ones who own smartphone. So what happens to those who don't own smartphones, those who are not on any social media platform? That's where the challenge is. So to me, the impact is there, but to a smaller extent. Okay? Now, measures should be put in place to ensure that we have the bigger population. Remember, we constitute over 75%.
Biggest part of the population, yes.
So what mechanisms can we put in place apart from this day? It shouldn't be a one-day discussion, a one-day celebration, and what happens after that? So it still falls on us as local leaders, as local authorities. It comes back to us as different stakeholders, development partners. Everybody must look at how best can this day have a bigger impact in the lives of young people, in terms of their understanding, in terms of their participation, and in terms of actualizing. You know, you're talking about green opportunities for themselves. How many of them understand that? That is an issue. So the impact is there, but it's meager. So we must look at the bigger picture. Because after today, what happens tomorrow? Okay? So we must have mechanisms in place to ensure that young people out there understand this day fully. But also the other impact is that those who have an opportunity to understand this day, those who are on social media, are empowered. One, they know their roles they're supposed to play. They know what they're supposed to do in terms of information or knowledge dissemination. Because if I know something, if I have information, I should be in position as a leader to share it with fellow young people who don't have it. I should not keep quiet and say, oh, as Victor, I am empowered, knowledge-wise, I am okay. No, I should be in position to share with fellow young people, so that they can be in position to cope up. So it has its own positivities and negativities, but at the end of the day, we all have a responsibility to ensure that we must make this International Youth Day better at local level. Okay, so that at local level, young people understand this day very well, including the theme. Because now we are saying at national level, yes, there are young people who may understand it, but only those who are privileged. So what happens about those who are not privileged? That is another discussion for another day.
Another day. Very interesting, right? That like he said, there's need to make this day actually, you know, have a bigger impact. And how is that going to happen? That's of course by you getting involved in these activities. But the biggest question for today is, did you know today is International Youth Day? If you are youth out there, you don't know, then there's need for you to find your youth leaders and ask where the problem is. And also as the youth leaders, we have a responsibility to go out to these people. You know, you're supposed to reach out to these people, and such days they're supposed to know and get engaged. If we're going to get our youths engaged in these activities, participate in some of these decision making things, then we need to update them. We need to give them information. Like you already said, some of them do not have this information, and this year's theme specifically speaks to greening, you know, the world and all that. So these green skills that everyone is supposed to have and get involved in all these. And he talked about people not having these technologies, but it also has a lot to do with that. But that is a question that you can help us address as an individual by going on our YouTube channel to leave your comment right there, and also on our Facebook page. Do not forget, this is The Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian, every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. here on Westnile TV. So we're going in for a short break, and when we come back, we are going to focus on the challenges facing the young people out there. So this is the part where we expect everyone to actually have something to say. See you shortly after the break. Don't go away.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Star TV with StarTimes Inside Technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. With StarTimes Inside Global Star TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update, more benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Inside Global Star TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that short break. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian, every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. here on Westnile TV. Remember, you can also catch us on Star Times and Zuko. And to get engaged in this discussion, you can catch us on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment to be a part of this discussion. You can do the same on our Facebook page, as we also stream live on Facebook. And today's discussion is dedicated to celebrating the International Youth Day that is celebrated every year on 12th of August. And as a youth, you should have gotten engaged in these celebrations in your various districts or at the national level, because we do this worldwide. And we do this day is celebrated to celebrate the achievements of the young people in the various fields, and also most importantly identify the challenges that they face. And that is why in the studio today we have a youth leader from Arua Central Division here to join us in the discussion and see how we can deal with all this. And if you have just joined the discussion, we are discussing the significance of the International Youth Day celebration, and we'll start right from where we stopped. That is where our speaker had talked about the celebration, the day having a very meager impact on the young people. So we'll go with this question: why is the impact of this day not felt on the young people? I mean, in our communities, why is it not felt?
Well, thank you very much. Why it's not felt? It's simple. One, knowledge, information gap.
Okay.
Young people are not highly educated. Very little information is outside there, and those who get it are privileged. Like I told you, you have a smartphone, you can Google and know anything. Okay. How about those who don't have? And majority don't have, by the way. Okay? That's why it is it's not making a lot of sense out there. Two, minimal involvement of young people.
Young people.
Not most of them are involved. So those who are involved are very few. Majority are not involved. That's why when you tell them about the International Youth, the majority will tell you, so what does it mean? Okay? But a young person who is involved and has an opportunity in terms of information and knowledge, they will understand and it will make sense, meaning to them. But to the bigger picture, they will be like, okay, so what? It doesn't, So again, it's nothing but the level of engagement and information dissemination out there. Because I can tell you today, I was in a function, women groups, mainly of course female youth, were sharing out money. And they, as the area councillor, they called me to officiate and support them. And when I was talking about the international issues, they were like, okay, Honorable, what are you saying? This is today, not even another day. Wow. So these are issues that we must address. These are challenges that needs to be addressed. And it's not going to be done by one person. It's a collective responsibility for everybody to come on board, support these efforts to ensure that at the end of the day, this day makes a lot of sense.
So how best can you address this challenge of the people not even knowing about, this International Youth Day? It's supposed to be their day. There's been a lot of complaint from these young people, the people that they elected as their leaders, to be their voice, inform them. Like you said, many do not have smartphones. Right from the parish level, there's still the technological gap that still exists. So this is supposed to be filled by the youth leaders, because you have upper hand, you get information from above, and so you are supposed to feed these people with these kinds of information. A lot of young people have missed out on some of these programs that have been enrolled for the youth. For example, they don't even know that there are some projects at the youth level, that sub-county levels, maybe parish levels, that they're supposed to get involved in. So as youth leaders, how best can you address this challenge of information gap?
Well, one, there is need for resource allocation. Monies should be put in the youth structures for them to function very well. You have a youth structure that has very small resource allocation for them to function very well. Now, these resources come either quarterly or at the end of the year, but it's very small. So, even the youth who are in the structures don't even engage most times among themselves. So, what am I trying to say? We must put resources in these structures to make them functional.
Okay.
So that if we have a budget resource allocation, these youth in the structures, the 9, are in position to first of all hold meetings among themselves as executive. Then they're in position to disseminate information. So it still falls on us as local leaders. Remember, we do resource allocation in councils. So it still comes back to us. Okay? 2, we must use other strategies like the baraza meetings. Not every young person will be in position to listen to the young people who are in the youth structures. Let's have like Pangisa baraza meeting. Young people should come. Let them come, listen to their leaders, ask questions, voice their concerns. It is through such platforms that information is disseminated, it's passed to them.
Okay.
Be it an information about a project, be it an information on education, be it an information on environment, be it an information on whatever program it is. That is the right forum where you can pass information to them. Unfortunately, this is not happening. We rarely, I must admit, we don't have frequent baraza meetings, because that is the only opportunity where young people interact. They interact with their leaders. Okay? They get feedback. By law, we are mandated to give feedback. I must be in position to explain to the people that this is what is happening in council and what are your views. I also get the issues from them at the grassroots level, and I take to council. I am not supposed to go and speak my own ideas or my own issues. No. It must come from the people. And whatever is in council, we take it to the people. So if we can have a baraza, short of engagement
with the young people,
we will bridge the gap of information. Because here you're meeting a number of young people. So here you're in position to listen to them, talk to them, as they keep voicing their concerns. But what is important is listening to them through these forums. 2, let's make use of the media, the radio stations, Westnile TV. Like, this is a very good platform. I am already communicating. I am already communicating with the young people. So this is a very good platform. So I want to thank the management of Westnile TV for having given me this opportunity that I'm in position to share and pass relevant information.
And thank you for coming to share
to the young people out there. So let's make use of the social media, radio stations, so that the information can go in all angles. We use the social media, we use the media houses, we use the baraza setup structure, meetings. We use councils to allocate resources to put in the youth structures to ensure that they're in position to hold their meetings. Because let me tell you, you cannot call these youth for a meeting and you don't give them a bottle of water, because they won't even come next time. So if there's a budget for them that they're in position to buy water or soda and biscuits, yeah. Because after all, these portions they hold in the youth structure are voluntary, by the way, they're not paid for. So we must be in position to have resources put there. And I think that is the next engagement that we are going to be having in council.
Okay.
As deputy speaker, I have a lot of influence. If I want something to happen in council, I have a lot of interest, because that position itself has influence.
Okay, I love the fire that is burning within you as the leader right there. I know there's going to be a change after here, and from what he has been saying, there's need to, you know, reach out to these people, especially the youth leaders. This day exists because of the youth. So what shall we celebrate if we do not engage these young people? What shall we celebrate if we do not get whatever is affecting them? That is why we have the youth structures, so that you get down to these young people, understand the challenges that they're getting, they are facing, and also come up with ways on how to address these challenges. And you cannot do that if you do not reach out to them, if you do not feed them on information, if you do not let them know about the activities and everything that is happening within their communities. So that is very important. Please take that serious. And thank you so much for staying for the show. A special shout out to Mandela. Thank you for catching the show. And our producer Aldo, our director Ayot, thank you so much. Thank you for keeping the show going. So for now, we are going straight to understanding. You know, this day is also celebrated, designated specifically to identify, highlight the challenges that the young people face. And because in the studio here we have someone who directly deals with the young people, His Honorable Victor. So though the young people of our city, but I believe it cuts across these different districts, even at international level. So together, and also together with you, of course, through engagement on Facebook and YouTube, we'll get to understand some of these challenges that are facing the young people. So turning to Honorable, kindly take us through some of the challenges that the young people face, that is eating up the young people, that needs the attention of, you know, the responsible people to come intervene in all this.
Well, thank you very much. One, I must say, young people or youth have a lot of challenges, a lot. Some of them are social challenges, some of them are economic challenges, okay? But I want to tell you, let me begin with social challenges.
Okay.
We have youth who are dealing with the issues of drug abuse. Okay. We have youth who are dealing with issues of alcohol abuse. We have youth who are dealing with issues of obesity. You are fat and people around you feel you are out of shape. It's an issue. It's a challenge. Okay. We have challenges that affect young people in terms of depression. Young people are depressed. Okay. That's the challenge. Those are social issues. But when you look at the critical challenges that affect young people, one, let's look at climate change. Okay? This has affected them in terms of agricultural output and food insecurity. We are cutting trees. Okay? Now, when we cut trees, the effects you can visibly see affecting us as young people. The climate weather pattern has changed. Okay? That's one. Two, food is not enough because we don't have high yields. People are planting, but the output is not good.
It's not good.
And remember, people eat on daily basis. So the prices of food automatically shoots up, and not everybody is in a position to afford. That is a challenge, climate change issue. Let's talk about loans. Availability for credit facilities. Young people who have entrepreneurial ideas are not in a position to actualize them. First of all, an entrepreneur is somebody who translates ideas into action. That's my understanding. An entrepreneur translates ideas into action. Now, there are young people who are already in small, medium-sized enterprises. But they cannot progress, they cannot move forward because the incentives in place don't favor them.
Okay.
You go to the bank, they're asking for a title, for security. They don't have. You get it? So the system itself, in terms of access to credit, it's a problem. That's the challenge. So young people cannot move forward. You get it? Especially those ones who are involved in entrepreneurship business. That is a challenge that is affecting them. So the other challenge is opportunities.
Before we go to that challenge, I would like us to still zero down on these issues of loans. There are a lot of, I know, government programs in place that actually give money to these young people, maybe to, build on their businesses and all that. How many of these people are actually aware that these programs exist?
Well, the bigger number of young people know about these government programs. But the issue is, if you're giving them money, you're giving them money to do what? Are you giving Victor money to just, okay? Give money to Victor when he has something. Somebody who has started something, but it is easy to support somebody who is doing something than somebody who is beginning from zero. Okay? Let's say somebody has a business about 6 months. That means they have an experience of running a small business for 6 months. They only need to be supported in terms of trainings, capacity building, and some funding. Okay?
Okay.
All these programs where you see young people are being given monies and they take them, they don't make use of it, it is because you don't involve them. You don't involve them. So for them, when they see money, they see it as an opportunity to get money and misuse it. Only a few of them take it and make it productive. That is a challenge. And when you talk about securities, most of these young people are broke. That's the truth. They are broke. You're talking about security. Where is this person going to get security? And maybe our system, our education system needs to be changed. Because
what is wrong with the education system?
It's worse. Because we go to school not to learn how to make money. That's why most people who have gone to school are not rich. Because the system does not train you on how to make money. No. That's the difference. The curriculum. Somebody says, I did BBA. But they don't know how to make money. Yet somebody who has not even gone to school is selling onions, tomatoes. Gradually they're improving. So, and they become big. So our system, our education system, the curriculum, needs to be changed.
So let's understand something, where the problem is coming from. Is the problem only coming from our education system, or it has also something to do with, the mentality that the young people have today?
You see, for me to have a positive or negative mentality, charity begins from home. Okay? Let me give an example. Look at the Indians, look at the Chinese. They begin training their children on how to make money. Even when they are from school, they come back, they teach you that this is how you make money doing business. Sit here. Now, a child is going to school, growing, knowing how to make money. That even when their parents are out, even if they die, these businesses survive. They move on. Unfortunately for us, today Victor has a big business. If I die with the business. Then you become history. Because your children, you never involved them from the primary level. And also, did you know what it will mean when people go to school and they are taught on how do you make money? We'll be having very many millionaires. That's why somebody will come out, a graduate with papers, but they want white-collar jobs. They literally have no skill to make money. They can't even, simple things. How to make a liquid soap, bar soap, lotion. I want to know your skill, but I'm a graduate. You're getting it? So, by the way, I want to make it very clear. We must have skills that can enable us make money. Okay? Unfortunately, our system does not.
Just the papers.
Yes. And unfortunately, our system does not do that. We are trained to, you have information, you have knowledge, but translating that into making money, into monetary terms,
is not there.
It's a challenge. So that is an issue that we need to change.
Okay.
Because, believe me, we must learn on how to make money. But we can't make money when we are not innovative, when we are not creative. We need more job creators than job seekers. That's what I'm trying to. So that itself.
So does that
is a challenge.
Does that explain why there's high rate of employment among the young people today? Because one of the challenges that the young people advancing out there is high rate of unemployment.
Yes, yes, we have a bunch of young people who have graduated and cannot do anything. Why? Because they literally don't have skills. Okay? Two, they are not using their gifts and talents. I'll tell you, like, let's look at the sports industry. Do you know how many people are making a lot of money and they're putting food on the table? Okay? These are issues that we must address. Look at Ondo Paraka. Do you know how much money Ondo Paraka brings in the local economy when it was still in its good days? Talk about Arwahil. But these are issues that we must discuss as young people, as local leaders, as different stakeholders. Two, the reason why we have high unemployment rates, it's because we have people who are not productive. There are young people who don't have opportunities, but they really have the urge to do something. They don't have opportunities in place. It's not there. And I want to tell you, government cannot create all the jobs for people. Government only creates an enabling environment for people to do business and flourish. So the government has its own share. We as local leaders have our own share. Different stakeholders have their own shares of blame. But at the end of the day, yes, and young people, because we have young people who are lazy. Well, okay? You wake up in the morning,
on the phone,
you are eating, you are drinking free food. Because your daddy, your mommy, your uncle or relative is doing it for you. So people are comfortable. People on social media, taking selfies, enjoying life. But there is nothing literal that they are doing that is productive. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And when you meet these people who are on social media, in real life, they are quite different. But what am I trying to say is that we need to change our mindset as young people. Yes, as we change our mindset, but opportunities must be in place, created by government, by development partners, and everybody.
There should be an enabling.
Yes, yes. If it means giving them capacity building trainings on hands-on skills, please let it be so. If it means creating an information hub where they can access information, do their creativity and innovativeness, please, that should be put in place. Okay. Anything that is not done the right way, we will still be lamenting when we should be in the books of Revelation, revealing how best young people can maximize their potential.
Okay, I'm getting to love this discussion. I don't know if you are enjoying this discussion out there, you viewer who is catching us out there, but you can give us a feedback on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page of Westnile TV. Like I say, you can be a part of this discussion. So if you have any other questions that you want to direct to our guest here in the studio, you can also do that on that channel. And like he already says, I hope we understand why most youth are unemployed today, but if you have still not understood it, you can still ask him a question. So we still want to dive more into some of these challenges. You know, the government has been putting lots of programs in space. We have many organizations who have come to address some of these challenges that the young people are facing, but they are still persistent. What is the problem? And there's still many challenges. We have not exhausted them, so we'll still go looking into more of these challenges with you.
Well, some of the challenges are to do with policy. Some of the policies are not favoring the young people.
Okay.
It's because the people who sit at the designing level didn't have a lot of involvement of young people. You see, that is the challenge. You are planning for the young people, you are thinking for them, you're coming up with the initiatives and you think it can work for the young people, and at the end of the day, it fails. So, well, I want to commend government. I want to appreciate government for coming up with the programs, initiatives to support young people. But the issue is, before you come up with such programs, what is the level of consultation and engagement? Okay, let's talk about PDM. PDM is a very good program, and I encourage young people to go for it because they have a right to get services. That is their taxpayers' money. They have their right to get these services. But the other issue is some of these programs under PDM don't favor the youth when the urban setup. Because here we don't farm much as we can do some urban farming, but we don't farm. Okay, let's be practical. Go to town and look at young people. A number of them are engaged in the border industry. A number of them are doing Jakali work. They're either porters, they're into construction, helping people. So how best can you support such people? Okay? Because this is what's happening right now. So, to me, when such programs come up, consultation and engagement of young people is very important.
It's key.
You're getting it? Some of these programs can best flourish in the peri-urban setup in the districts. In the issues, by the way, we have serious and peculiar issues that affect young people in the urban setup. Meaning, their solutions must be urban. Okay? Must be urban. Then the other challenge is high population growth rate. People have produced very many children, and this has affected the standard of living of young people. Meaning, they come to towns, and what happens next? They are creating slums. That one is automatic. And why do we have these slums cropping up or coming up? People cannot afford to pay for decent housing. So automatically they will go for low cost houses. And in so doing, development of slums come up. These are issues that affect young people. The other issue that is affecting young people is their ability to stand up and voice concerns. Not so many of them are assertive. Not so many of them can stand up and speak for themselves. This I can tell you. You, out of 100 youth, pick 100 youth, put them in one place. Less than 10 can stand up to speak on their own. On issues that affect them, be it reproductive health issues, be it educational issues, very few. So that is a challenge that needs to be addressed. How? Build their capacity. Let the young people know their rights. What civic rights do they have? How best can they voice the issues that affect them? This is a challenge. That is why some of us who had the opportunity to get capacity building trainings were in position to begin articulating issues that affect us as young people. The issues that affect young people are the issues that affect the bigger, broader population. Because we are the majority. If you're planning, whom are you planning for?
But before we go any further, I love when you talked about the fact that most young people cannot articulate their own issues. You know, that is why we have the leadership structure in place. But then we also have these leaders who are not able to articulate the issues of these young people, though their capacity has been built. So in some communities, some of these young people actually voice out their concerns, but then it comes from the part of the leader who doesn't voice out these issues at a bigger level. What has been done to sort such issues?
Well, one, of course, yes, it is true that we have youth leaders that cannot barely express themselves. They are very terrible when it comes to representing the views of the people who have put them there. But what has been done is that their capacity has been built. One, how do you present yourself in public? Two, how do you communicate, skills in public speaking? These are capacity gaps that have been addressed somehow. Because yes, some of the people who have gone there, not all of them are good. We have junk. You hear somebody saying, okay, I'm the youth chairperson. But they can't even say anything about youth, but he or she is the youth chairperson, youth council. You're getting it? But they cannot voice these issues. They cannot bring out the issues out and articulate them. Articulating an issue is an issue. You may have issues, but how do you bring it out and portray the worst case scenario possible, so that you capture people's attention, so that you capture the attention of governments and other development partners or any other stakeholder. Because at the end of the day, young people must fight for their space. There is nothing that will be given to you on a silver platter. No. And there's this saying that whatever kills a dog begins with its nose. And whatever kills a man begins with his inability to speak for him or herself. If young people cannot speak for themselves as leaders, as individuals, we are finished.
Okay. I
can guarantee you we are finished. That's why I am here. I'm saying that needs to be addressed. It's an issue. You get a young person whom you even know they have challenges, but they can't say it because one, they have low self-esteem. Even looking at a camera like this, it's a hassle. So these are issues that we need to address. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Those are just some of the issues that we are trying to look at. You know, today it's alarming how you go on the street and then you see majority of young people chewing marijuana and all that. You know, recently there was a poster that was circulating where people were organizing, is it a marijuana competition in one of the districts in Westnile? I don't want to mention, but then thank God the police cancelled it. But that is the bitter truth, that a lot of people today are engaged in drug abuse, and it's a very big challenge that we face in this region and even at the national level. So what are some of the causes of this drug abuse in this region? Let's zero down to this region and how best we can tackle it. And for you youth leaders, what have you done, what are you doing to see that this problem is sorted, dealt with?
Well, of course, one, what causes these challenges? What makes young people go into drug abuse? Maybe eating marungi, eating goro. Mention it. Marijuana. Why are they involved in alcohol abuse? You know, it's simple. They are not productive. They are idle. That's why you'll find the police arresting them for being idle and disorderly. So they are engaged because they are not doing anything. The only thing they feel they can do is getting engaged in abusing drugs. Because when you go and meet them, those who are eating marungi, whatever it is, they are busy, by the way. You're getting it? They are very comfortable and they are busy. It's work, unfortunately. I am sorry to say. But these are issues that we must address. They are not productive. How best can we address that? Let's give them opportunities. Let's create opportunities. Both government, development partners, and all the stakeholders surrounding young people. Okay, if there are projects, how can we engage them to come up with income generating projects? Projects that are productive. Ask them, don't do for them. I will never promise the people in my area that I will bring you sewing machines, no. But I ask them, what do you think you can do? That is the way forward to go. Because you talked about the marungi competition. Yes, we may say it is bad, but to the young people it is work. Just imagine people are organizing a competition where they are going to chew mira. Mira, njua balaro. It is serious.
I know someone out there wants to understand how that is work.
If you want to know that it is work, sit with them for some time. You'll see them sweating. From the head here, that is work. So, but as leaders, as people, we have a responsibility to ensure that we help them. I know whatever they engaged in is not the good thing to be involved in. But yes, we have roles to help them out and show them the way as leaders and everybody. That's why I support every intervention that is planned towards young people. But as these initiatives come, let us not build handouts. If you're bringing a skill, okay, give them hands-on skill, but give them a startup kit. Show them that the opportunity is here. Okay? That's why I wake up every morning when I'm going to work, by the way. I tell my young people, look here. And every time when I pass, they say, Honorable, we are here. Yes, of course I know you are there. Then the next thing is, Afazi Warachi. You get it? Yeah. So I tell them, look here, let's get busy. Even if it means riding someone's boda on percentage, please do it. Even if it means doing Jwakali work, please do it. Because at the end of the day, work is work. There's dignity in work. People will respect you when you're doing something. If you're married as a young person, your partner or your wife, your sweetheart, will respect you when you put food on table. I keep telling young people, if you're married or you intend to get married or you intend to get engaged, number one is get ready to feed that lady or that woman. The hardest thing you can do, by the way, is feeding somebody on daily basis. Breakfast, lunch, supper. First leave rent. Breakfast, lunch, supper. It's not easy. Because people must eat. And it comes with costs. So, we can only do that when we put efforts together to address these issues that affect young people. Where young people must change their attitudes and must look for opportunities, because life is a hustle. I can tell you, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. That's why I believe in the hustler movement of William Samuel Ruto, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya. I believe in his ideas that a small person can become a bigger person. But it's a hustle. You must fight for your space. So I want to tell young people out there, you have challenges. Yes, we have challenges, but we must rise above these challenges. And we can only rise above these challenges when we know what we want, when we demand for them. But we have a right to demand for services. We have a right to demand for opportunities, especially when they are not coming. Yes.
Wow, that is very interesting. I feel like if you didn't catch any point from whatever he has said, but at least remember this. He says work is work, no matter what you're doing. But we're not saying chewing marijuana is work. That is not work. It should be any productive activity that at least earns you something by the end of the day. You know, we have a lot of people complaining about unemployment, this and that. He also put it very clearly, the government cannot provide jobs for everyone. So you need to get to do something, maybe a business, any activity that can sustain you as you also look for the white collar job that you actually want to get. And we're going in for a short break. When we come back, we also want to know your views on some of these challenges that are affecting the youth in your communities and how best we can solve these problems. You can do that by leaving a comment on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. When we come back from this short break, we'll read out your comments. Don't go away. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Star TV with StarTimes Inside Technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. With StarTimes Inside Global Star TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update, more benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Inside Global Star TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that break. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian, on Westnile TV every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. If you have just joined the discussion, we are discussing the significance of International Youth Day that is celebrated every 12th August every single year to celebrate the youth and also identify the issues affecting the youth. And today in the studio we have a youth leader from Arua City called Honorable Victor Vidal, who is here with us to tackle this issue of the significance of the Youth Day. You can also as well be a part of this discussion. I continue to emphasize by going on our YouTube channel, liking, subscribing, you leave a comment, and also go to our Facebook because you're also streaming live there, and we are on Star Times and on Zuku, so don't miss this conversation if you are a youth, because this is very important for us. So you can have your views and we'll have them read here on this. So our focus right now is on the challenges that the young people are facing out there. We know that the government has put in place a lot of programs to see that some of these challenges are tackled, and also we have organizations who are working towards helping these young people overcome the challenge, but still we see these challenges are still persistent. So we looked at a number already. We looked at things like unemployment, the climate change, amidst other things, but we still want to exhaust more of these challenges here with the Honorable Victor Vidal. So I'd like to zero it down to your they're called constituencies, your area, whichever place you know. Now let's zero down to the central what?
Division.
Central Division. So you are here representing the youth of a Central Division. So please do spell some of the challenges that the young people in Central Division face and how best you have dealt with the problem, or ways on how suggestions on how we can deal with some of these problems.
Well, one, I want to say that where I come from, Pangisa, I come from Pangisa Upper Ward. This is from Driver's Corner. When you see Driver's Corner, also Bibia, Muru, you know, all these areas are areas that fall under my constituency. And some of the challenges that I have seen visibly as their local leader is that young people excuse me, have failed to succeed in education. Not so many of them have gotten the opportunity to go to school, and this is because of economic challenges. There are those who have had the opportunity to go and further their education, but there are those who didn't have the opportunity because their parents or guardians were not in a position to pay them. So that's a challenge, meaning they've never gotten the opportunity to maximize and utilize their potential. And this is something that is not only in my area, but it cuts across our central division, Arua City. Then the other issue is land ownership. Very few young people own land. That's the reality.
Okay.
And now if you want to do business, for instance, you need land to do business. If you're putting a shop, do you own that land? If you're putting a kiosk, do you own that land? So very few people have access to own land as young people. That's a challenge. Because one, they cannot acquire. Why? They don't have the money. So anything you do right now, you do it on land. Whether you're constructing, you need land. You want to put a business, you need land. So that's a challenge. Land ownership, unfortunately. Very few young people own land. So that means the people who own land actually determine what should happen to the young people. If somebody tells you, you're putting up a kiosk here, I want 50,000 as grand rent, and their capital is 500,000. Is it sustainable? It's not. These are issues that are affecting young people. And unfortunately, when you interact with them, they'll always tell you, we are not in position to flourish because these challenges have not been addressed. So the other challenge is, of course, these are issues that are happening there. Tribalism. Okay? Young people are being divided based on tribal lines, which is not good. Because we should be looking at how can we work together? How can we come together as young people for a common purpose and goal to address our issues? Because when we begin looking at ourselves, oh, I am this, you're that, we lose the focus. And it becomes very easy for politicians to come and divide us. Okay? But if we looked at ourselves as brothers and sisters and come together, front our ideas, front our views on how best we think our issues can be addressed, that will be a very good, positive thing for us. That's why I don't subscribe to the school of thought of people who say, oh, you know, for us we are this, we are that. No, but I subscribe to the school of thought of people who say, one, we are Africans, we are black people, regardless of where you come from. But how can we come together and address our issues? So people use tribalism, people use religion, by the differences, to divide us. Okay? Oh, you are this, you belong to this religion, you belong to that one. Therefore, we cannot sit together and discuss issues that affect us. And the biggest challenge that we have as young people is we don't want to come together, sit down, discuss issues that affect us for future planning. We don't want to discuss issues that will help us plan our future. But we think other people should come, discuss issues and plan our future. No. Because they will come and say that you're leaders of tomorrow. No. We are leaders of today. The future is actually tomorrow, by the way. We live the future because I'm by the grace of God, if I finish 5 years in office, I would have lived my future. So if I did not do anything productive in these 5 years in office, what future am I going to be, talking about? Because I had the opportunity and I didn't do anything productive. So we are not leaders of tomorrow, we are leaders of today. And it begins now by getting serious, by making sure that we're in charge of the issues that affect us and we front views that can help us. And the other issue that affects young people is that our setup makes it difficult for young people to explore their talents and gifts.
What setup?
The community we live in.
Okay.
We live in a community where you are told for you to succeed, you must be a doctor, you must be a lawyer, you must be an engineer, you must be that, which is not good. Because you can be what you want to do, what you want to be, if you can utilize your talents very well.
Okay.
Your parent will tell you, yes, for you to succeed, you must go to school. Yes, going to school education is very important for young people. It's very important. But if a young person if a young child is talented, please don't stop them. If they're good in athletics, support them. Football, netball, be it. Because I can tell you, I had an opportunity in 2013 to go to Europe, sponsored by UN Habitat. You meet someone and they tell you that my profession is cycling. Like they race. It work. But if your child told you here that I want to be, they'll tell you, me future Dara. You're getting it? If your child told you, me I want to do sports, football, they'll say you have no future. But why do you, if somebody said that, Daddy, Mommy, I want to go to school, but I think I want to do music, they say, you're spoiled. But move around and see what they are doing. These people are making a lot of money, and they are, okay, let me give an example with Ijaga. Here in Mvara, he has a house. He is driving. The amount of money he has made, even some people who are in offices don't have it. Why? Because he concentrated and his parents supported him to just kick a ball and told him continue training. He's a star.
Okay, we shall, that is a topic for another day that we really need to exhaust. So that's a call, calling upon parents to support the talent and passion of their children. Also a person going to school and studying this and that is one, but them also following their talent is another. I'm seeing our YouTube comments coming in. We have Aiko Innocent who says, very good, policies are the most important areas to address, level of consultation and information. Thank you so much, Aiko Innocent, for that comment, and thank you for watching. So now, Honorable, I would love us to zero down to, you talked about climate change that is affecting youth, the productivity of youth today. This year's theme is specifically in line with that, green skills for sustainable world. So this is a call, to youth to embrace this green skill and all that. When we talk green skills, we refer to values, ideas, knowledge, and how to, go towards environmentally friendly and sustainable world. So it's basically a green thing. How are we going to instill these, attitudes, knowledge, and values into these young people to embrace a green world? Maybe plant trees, use efficient sources of energy and all that. How are we going to make sure this sinks deep into the youth?
Well, one, I want to say, it still gets back to information dissemination. Information is power. That's one thing I want to make it very clear, that information is power. Once young people have information, all that we're discussing right now is possible. It's very possible. 2, young people need to be told that the environment we are living in, we must preserve it for the future generation. Meaning, as a young person, time will come, you will also have children. Of course, you'll have to produce. And whatever you're preserving is not for yourself, but it is for the future generation. Because our forefathers did the same. Just imagine if our forefathers abused environment. If they were involved in ensuring that water sources, swamp areas were not protected, what environment or what earth would we have inherited? So tell the young people, engage them and say, you're not doing this for yourself. You're doing it for the future generation, for your children that will come, if God gives you. It's very important. So that whatever we are doing, whether you're doing a business, is it eco-friendly? Okay? If you're cutting charcoals, is it eco-friendly? If you're cutting trees as firewood, is it friendly environmentally? These are issues that we must. If as young people we are involved in, encroaching on swamp areas, is environmentally friendly. You getting it? So to me, number one is information. Let's give them information, engage them, and let them understand that whatever they are doing is for the good of the bigger picture. Because me, as Victor, I have a child. But what am I going to leave for this child? An environment that is environmentally destroyed, or what? And if we are doing business, young people need to be supported right now, that whatever business they're doing in must be businesses that preserve and conserve environment, not destroying it. Because if you're destroying it, then we're destroying it for the future generation. Yes, I may be a young person. 10 years from now, I'll not be a young person. But there are people who are behind me coming as young people. So that is very, very important for us to be looking at it, so that at the end of the day, young people take personal responsibility to ensure that, okay, if I am engaged in anything, if I am doing something, am I preserving, am I conserving environment, be it business, being it whatever you're involved in. It is important that we conserve and preserve environment, because at the end of the day, we need it for survival. We need it for doing very many things.
Okay, that's a beautiful point out there. So it's a call to the young people. You know, even this year's theme is calling upon you to go green, and I love the theme of this year. You know, Miss Tourism Uganda has this theme, greening tourism. So everything this year has a lot to do with greening. So what does that mean? You know, planting a tree looks, yes, most people don't see value in it, but it starts as small as that. Even the small caveras that you throw on the roadside affects the environment. So we are looking towards having a friendly environment, you know, a sustainable world. So that starts with you, the young people. So whatever thing you do, make sure you act responsibly, and that has been it. So we'll have our honorable put out his last words to our viewers. I know it has been a very, very fruitful discussion, but what is that thing that you want them to catch? If anyone has just joined the show, what is that thing he or she should not miss from what we have discussed today? And also, in a way, you can put out your International Youth Day message to all the youth who are catching this show out there.
Well, thank you very much. One, I want to say that as young people, let us begin making sure that we are in charge of our destiny. It's very important. Two, young people, I want to encourage you that this International Youth Day, let's celebrate it, let's embrace it, and let us learn lessons, the positive ones, the negative ones. Let's appreciate our challenges. Let's also appreciate the things, the positive things that we have done. And I want to say, let us be ambassadors of environment. Let's go out. Let's make sure that we are planting trees, not just planting, but we are going to be growing trees, fruit trees, whatever it is. Let's protect our environment, our water sources, our swampy areas. Let's be in position to protect these areas. But as young people, we have a role and responsibility to ensure that we live a better world for the young people. Let us not live a world that is going to be destructive, but a world that is going to be prosperous, a world that young people will breathe fresh air, young people that will come and find environment is green, young people that will come and find that we have done something. And I want to tell young people that if we don't do these things now, the children we were producing will come and curse us and blame us. Because they will say, you were there, what did you do?
What did you do?
If Westnile will be turned into a desert, my daughter will ask me, Daddy, you were once a leader, what did you do? You were once a youth leader, what did you do? You see, some of these actions, we may not feel it right now, but give it time. It has consequences. So I want to say, the International Day is here. Let's celebrate it responsibly. Let's make sure that we don't misbehave. Life is important. I want to see young people live longer, even me, I want to live longer. I don't want to see young people getting destroyed in their early stages, because as young people, this is the only time where we are very productive. We have a lot of energy in us, strength, but let's use it productively. Let's not use it to abuse drugs. Let's not use it for, causing violence. Let's not use it to do funny stuff. But let's put our energies in productive energies and efforts. Let's support our parents. I want to stress that. Let's support our parents, because they took care of us as young people. It's our time to take care of them. Okay. If you will not take care of your parents now, when you age, your children will not take care of you. This I can say without fear of contradiction. Take care of your parents, because when you are young, they took care of you. You are what you are because of your parents or guidance. So, let's be responsible young people and take care of our parents, so that the children we shall have, or we are having, will take care of us. If you don't take care of your children now, don't expect miracles when you're aging. If God gives you the grace to live longer, don't expect miracles will come, because they will not take care of you. If you're not going to tell your child, I love you, don't expect this child to tell you I love you when you're aging. Your parents told you, I loved you, I love you when you were young. You have an opportunity to do it. Do it when they're alive. I don't believe in young people who say, I will support them when they're aging. No, or when they've died. Support them when they're alive. Listen to them when they are there, so that you get the blessings when they are alive.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That has been a very deep message coming from Honorable Victor. Thank you so much for joining in today's discussion. We appreciate every input that you have put out. So Arua Central Division has been ably represented, and all the youth in Westnile, I should say, also in the country, because when a youth leader speaks, he speaks on behalf of all the youth. And today's topic has been dedicated to, the celebration of the Youth Day. We have our charitable praise, Oyo, who says, thanks, Miss Ayot, and our speaker for today, Honorable Victor. Thank you so much also for following this discussion. I hope we continue to spread the news to our colleagues. We have Tolana Mandela, who is catching the show from Kampala. He's saying, I'm loving this topic. Great submissions from Victor. And by the way, Tolana is a climate change activist. So we're also, in a way, calling upon, as this year's theme, Green Skills for, a better world, calling upon all youth to be climate activists and make sure you reduce your footprint. I don't know if that's what they call it. Make sure you reduce how you dispose these caveras anyhow. So Phil would caution, as you are leading the city, we need to see more dustbins in this city where we can dump, the caveras, all these plastic used up things. Thank you so much for catching us today on this discussion. We really appreciate. And if the message has not reached anyone that it's supposed to reach, let us continue to share the links to our leaders, to our young people, so that we get the message. And your contributions, you can still comment, also send them to people, your youth leaders, so that improvements are made. Remember, this day is dedicated to celebrate the youth and also identify the challenges that you face. And you can be a part of this celebration by taking part in your district celebration and all that, to create a change in your community. Thank you. My name is Ayot Lillian. Real Talk. Every Saturdays we do this on Westnile TV from 8 to 10 p.m. See you again next week for another interesting topic for discussion. That has been it for tonight. Thank you so much, Aldo, our producer, and Elliot, our cameraman, and each and everyone who has been with us on this show. See you again next Saturday. Have a lovely evening.